Hello, my fellow hobbyists. I wanted to jump on here and do a follow-up to my Hall of Fame voting and just talk about the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame for a minute. Well, probably a few minutes. So, it's a shame that I feel this way, but I do. I have mixed emotions on voting for the Hall of Fame because it gets such scrutiny. And my Hall of Fame ballot votes are the ones that get the most dislikes. There are all kind of accusations, people speaking badly about the YouTube Hall of Fame. And just wanted to give my thoughts on how I pick Hall of Famers. When I was elected, the rules were different. I had barely made a year. And I actually thought, I wasn't going to get many votes, if any. Just because of the longevity thing. I'm not so sure I should have gotten voted in when I did, to be honest. Although I was appreciative that people voted for me. And I remember one guy whom I've gotten to know and be friends with now, but at the time, he had no idea who I was. And he had told me, when he saw people nominating me, he was like, who the hell is this guy? I never heard of this guy. And then he started to look at my videos and see my collection. And then he basically apologized for thinking that once he saw my collection. But, that's what goes through people's minds. I see so many people ripping on the Hall of Fame and saying horrible things about us. I saw one guy, and he was basically saying that, he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame and the guys being voted in didn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame because he had over 6,000 subs. And this was a year or two ago. And I was watching that video about a half a day after he published it. And, he had no likes and no comments. And I'm thinking to myself, what good are subs if no one's watching or interacting with you? That makes you a Hall of Famer because you have a lot of subs? I mean, let's face it on social media, in any realm, the videos and shorts that get the most amount of likes and a lot of times the most subs aren't always the best content. A lot of times, it's negative content. Very negative. I'll just leave it at that. But people have said such, horrible things about YouTube, the YouTube Hall of Fame, and the people that have been voted in the past. When I'm voting, I look at channels I enjoy watching first and foremost and think do a good job. And there were people that I would have voted for or wanted to vote for, but I noticed, a drop-off in the amount of videos they do. Some, if you're doing one or two videos a year or even maybe one a month, I'm not sure, I could vote in good faith. Because we do have YouTubers that are in the Hall of Fame that dropped off and stopped making content or make very little. I get that, and that happens. So, one of the things is I want to know that you're putting content out there and you haven't quit or something like that. There's always the knock that it's a boys network, high school, cliques and stuff like that. You know, many of us, like me, I know just about everybody on here. I've met them. So it's impossible for me to vote for people I don't know, for the most part. And I have voted for people I don't know. I voted for one this year that I'd never met, don't know at all. And I've also voted for people that I don't necessarily agree with or see eye to eye with or get along with that well. But I think they deserve to be in. And I've certainly voted for my friends because I have so many friends in this hobby. So of course that happens. Who I don't vote for is people that I think are bad for the hobby. People I don't enjoy. People I disagree with the whole premise of their channel or what they do. You know, I'm not a big fan of the news regurgitation channels where something is a hot topic and this guy wants to come out and jump on it and pawn it off as his own thoughts or whatever. It's funny. I'll make a video sharing my thoughts on something or doing a rant, and I'll text my misfit friends and I'll be like, I guarantee you there's going to be at least 5 people who jump on this, pawn it off as their own idea, and don't give me any credit. Now, granted, a lot of times people will, but it's just funny because, you know, everybody wants to jump on something. They see a video, and it's not always a response. They just, you know, pawn it off as their original idea, and we see that all the time. Everybody jumping on the bandwagon on the latest hot topic. That's real creative journalism. Real real unique, cutting edge stuff right there. And that's what happens. They pawn it off as their own ideas. They're plagiarists, basically. Just to make content, just to be controversial. And we have so many people that, regurgitate news. It's like that Babe Ruth card sold. Well, I mean, you have to have your head in the sand if you're in the hobby and don't know about that Babe Ruth. But there's video after video saying, look at this sale, look at this sale, look at this sale. You know, we all have our thing. We all have our thing. The YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame started by Mike Baseball Collector, as we all know. You know, it was started by people who are predominantly collectors, who appreciate diverse collections, people who have a passion for collecting. Does that mean that if you're primarily a seller, you can't get in? Of course not. People have. You know, we have TTMers in there. We have breakers in there. We have people that talk card prices in there. We have everything, I think, in there. Maybe not so much the predominantly news channels, but I have a feeling somebody's going to get in this year. But you know, it's not, and it's a shame. It's not fun to make a ballot. There's such scrutiny on it. My ballots have gotten the most dislikes, those videos, because people aren't going to agree with you. But it doesn't matter. You know, there are so many people that vote that it's hard to get in if people don't enjoy what you're doing. You know, we have a tendency to, I don't know, like, people have a tendency to flex if they have more money than you, if they have more subs than you. And that is not the end-all be-all. You're not a better person than me because you have more money than me or that you have more subs than me. I mean, if that was the case, then Putin is way better than me. He has way more money than me. Is that how we judge people? There are people in prison that have more money than me. There are some, I don't know, there are lots of people with tons of subs that, maybe a lot of collectors, maybe most collectors, don't want to emulate or don't enjoy what's being put out. I don't know. But it's, the Hall of Fame is more than that. The Hall of Fame is mostly collectors and passionate hobbyists that are voting. And if they're not voting for you, maybe, I don't know, maybe you're not resonating with them. Maybe they are pushing back on what you're doing to the hobby. Is that possible? Is that possible? They don't like what you're doing to the hobby? I don't know. I only know who I vote for. And I tend to vote for people that are positive for the hobby, who I enjoy, who I learn from. God forbid we vote for people that actually teach us something, that know something about cards, that have experience in the hobby. There have been YouTubers that had tons of subs, and they vanished. They vanished because they were caught as scammers, or they vanished because they had some controversy, and now they're gone. They're not even on here. So should we have voted them in because they had a lot of subs? Should we vote in people who, I don't know, joined the hobby during the boom and sell newsletters and tell you who to invest in, even when they're wrong time after time after time, and don't have a single person who comes on YouTube and gives them a pat on the back and says, hey, I just bought a Tesla with all the money I made listening to this guy and buying his newsletter. Now, there are all kind of realms. All kind of realms in the hobby. All kind. You got sellers, you got breakers, you got news channels, you got people that predominantly go live and interview people. We have everything. And everybody is welcome. To say that it's an old boys network and everybody just votes for their friends is not fair. And I will tell you that when I was voted in, I basically had no friends that did content on YouTube. I was new. I didn't know anybody yet. And I voted, like I said, for people I didn't know, didn't necessarily get along with. But of course, after going to 2 nationals, after going to shows, after having people come here and meet me, after traveling and meeting other people and hanging out with other YouTubers, of course, I know, most people now. I've met most people, and many of them have become great collecting friends of mine. And like I said, it would be impossible for me not to vote for my friends. But those aren't the only people that I vote for. I don't know why this has become such a gossip, hating kind of thing. It's like, this is not sanctioned like the Hall of Fame for baseball or the NFL. It's not a sanctioned thing. You can start your own YouTube Hall of Fame. Start a Flipper Hall of Fame, a news channel Hall of Fame. Start your own YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame if that's what you want to do. Everybody makes such a big deal about this. If you don't like it, start your own. I'll vote. Or I won't vote. Disqualify me. I don't care. You're taking something that was supposed to be a positive, supposed to make people feel good, supposed to introduce us all to new channels and kind of say thank you to the channels we enjoy watching. And we turn it into a soap opera. Some high school crap. And we have people campaigning now that they should be in. We have people basically giving you a big middle finger to the Hall of Fame. A sarcastic big middle finger that I should be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm wonderful. And you guys If you don't vote for me, it's because you're a clique. I've heard people say absolutely horrible things about collectors. And it blows my mind. If you sell sports cards and you know the channels that are in the YouTube Hall of Fame and the straight collecting channels, and you know how much money they spend, you're a moron for turning off your buyers, for turning off your viewers. I don't know. Who wants to buy from people and watch people who say horrible things about you? I don't get it. But that's where we're at in the hobby right now. And we've seen this shift to, you know, the negative channels get more and more. They blow up overnight. That's America, man. It's a Jerry Springer world. I just live in it. Those are my thoughts. Thanks for hanging out with me.